Hello everyone, welcome back to today's our online lesson with Just English, and you can watch our lessons on YouTube channel, on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram accounts. My name is Nijat. Today's topic is about quantifiers. We will be talking about quantifiers, how can we use them, and we will learn grammatical rules, and we will learn how can we use them in the sentences. And you can ask me which level. Today's level is like this grammar is for intermediate level students. If you are pre-intermediate level student or upper intermediate level student, don't worry about that. You can join and you can learn something from us. Like I will be here from 2 to 4 p.m. Okay, and I think we will have a great time with you together, and you will learn something new. The name of the topic is quantifier. Okay, so let's start. Let's start to talk about quantifiers, and you can see the page here. Quantifiers, we have large quantities, we have small quantities here, you can see, okay, and more or less than you need or want. For example, too much, too many, enough, and the last one, zero quantity, we will be talking about in today's lesson. So let's start with large quantities. Okay, and before starting to talk about the grammar, firstly I want to ask you, if you have any question, please leave a comment, write your write your questions and your answers to my questions. Firstly we will learn, okay, and then we will have exercises for large quantities, small quantities, zero quantity, or more or less than you need or want for this part. So let's start with the large quantities. We have four rules here, like as you see, and we have a lot of, we have lots of, a lot, many, much, and plenty of. You can ask me, how can we use a lot of, or how can we use plenty of? Okay, let's start with number one. Look at here. My uncle and aunt have a lot of money. Okay. And the second sentence, Nina has lots of clothes. So you can see a lot of and lots of. You can ask me, teacher, what's the difference between a lot of and lots of? Actually, there is no difference between a lot of or lots of. Regarding the grammar, we can use both of them. For example, my uncle and aunt have a lot of money, or my uncle and aunt have lots of money. It doesn't matter. We can use both of them in the like for this sentence or this sentence as well. Nina has lots of clothes, or Nina has a lot of clothes. So we can use a lot of and lots of for positive sentences. You can ask me why not negative or interrogative questions. Why? Because we have many and much. So if we have many and much, we should use them in question or negative type of sentences. We can use them. And let's continue with number two, the second one, a lot. Like this simple sentence, James eats a lot. Or you can say Philip speaks a lot. So we use a lot after the verbs, okay? After the verb, we use what? We use a lot. We don't use a lot of, okay? Or lots of, keep in your mind. All right, as you see, like we use a lot of and lots of before nouns, like a lot of money, lots of clothes, but we use a lot after verb. James eats a lot, or Philip speaks a lot. All right. I think it is clear for everyone. If you have any question, you can ask your questions right now. Okay, if you don't have any question, let's continue with number 3. We have many and much. Like we use much and many, like they are used in negative sentences and question sentences. But a lot of is used in both of them. Like a lot of, we can also use a lot of. But if we have many and much, we prefer using many and much instead of a lot of or lots of. For example, there are not many cafes near here. Do you have many close friends? If you pay attention to the sentences here, you can see cafes and close friends. They are countable nouns, okay? They are countable nouns. If we have countable nouns, we should use many. If we are talking about something uncountable, like if our noun is uncountable or non-countable, you say which one? Like either uncountable or non-countable, it doesn't matter, they are the same. We can use much. Do you watch much TV? I don't eat much chocolate. Okay, so much, as you see, do you watch much TV? Or I don't eat much chocolate. Like in question and negative sentences, we used much. All right. The only difference between many and much is about countable or uncountable nouns. If the noun is countable, we will use many. If the noun is uncountable, we will use much here. Okay, and the last one, plenty of. You can see the plenty of for the first time. Okay, it's normal because plenty of is used in colloquial language. It means we use plenty of in informal sentences, informal spoken English we use. Like we have formal English, we have informal English. So when it comes to informal English, so you can use plenty of instead of using many or much. So don't run, we have plenty of time. Okay, so plenty, it means more than enough. Like for example, I have plenty of books. I need 5 books, but I have plenty of books. It means I have maybe 20 books, more than enough. I need 5, but I have 20. Okay, so in this case, I can use I have plenty of books. So we use plenty of in positive sentences, as you see, and it means we have something more than enough. So a lot of, lots of, a lot, many, much, and plenty of, they are related to large quantities, as you see, large quantities. But when it comes to small quantities, as you see from my screen, like I will explain which words we will use for small quantities. Okay, we will use a little and a few, very little and very few. How can we use them? Like the same rule. As I said before, like many and much, they are used in negative and question sentences, but the only difference between many and much was countable or uncountable. Here is the same rule. Like a little and a few, they, like we can use them according to the noun. Like if our noun is like uncountable noun, we will use a little. If we have countable noun, we will use a few or very few. Okay. For example, look at number 1. Do you want some more ice cream? Do you want some more ice cream? Just a little. Why not a few? Because ice cream is uncountable noun. So just a little. The town only has a few cinemas. The town only has a few cinemas. So here we have countable noun. As you see, we have s in plural, and I use here a few, not a little. If I use a little, it could be wrong answer because cinema is countable noun. And number two, I'm so busy that I have very little time for myself. The second one, Sarah isn't popular and she has very few friends. So as you see, I use very little time and very few friends. Very few countable nouns, very little uncountable nouns. So, and you can ask me what's the difference between a little and very little, a few and very few. Like a little and a few, it means some, okay, but not a lot. I have a few friends. It means I have 3, 4, or 5 friends. Not a lot, not 10, not 15, not 20 friends. But very few, or it means not much, not many. Okay? Alright. And the next rule. Next rule is about more or less than you need or want. Like as you see from the text here, more or less than you need or want. So in this case, we use to in front of many, much, and we have enough. We have like different rules as I said here. Like let's start from number one. I don't like this city. It is too big and it is too noisy. Like as you see, we have two adjectives here. We have big and noisy, two adjectives. We can say the city is big and noisy, right? If something is more than we want or more than we need, we add to, we write to in front of big. It is too big. We exaggerated. We made it bigger. It sounds like bigger than normal, like bigger than enough. I don't like this. It is too big. It is too noisy. Okay, we have noisy and too noisy. So after too, we must use adjective. Okay, we shouldn't use any noun after too here. Too big city, we shouldn't use. Okay, too big or too noisy. And rule number two, too much and too many. It's the same like much and many. There is too much traffic and too much noise. Too much traffic and too much noise. Okay? Or there are too many tourists and too many cars. The only thing you should pay attention to is about the noun. Like if we have uncountable noun, traffic and noise, or we should use too much. If we have countable noun in this sentence, we should use too many, like too many tourists, too many cars. Okay, so we use too much and uncountable nouns, and we use too many with plural nouns like countable nouns. And let's continue the rule number 3, enough. How can we use enough? We can use enough with nouns, we can use enough with adjectives, and we can use enough with adverbs. Like from first sentence in number 3, there aren't enough parks and there aren't enough trees. So enough parks and enough trees. As you see, there are not enough parks. It means we need 2 parks or 3 parks in the city, but we have just 1. We have less than we need. We have less than we want. Okay, after enough here, we must use noun. Okay, so enough comes before nouns. Enough parks, enough trees. And the next one, the buses aren't frequent enough. The buses aren't frequent enough. So here, as you see, frequent is an adjective. So we use enough after adjective. Or next sentence, I can use, for example, the city isn't big enough to visit, to travel. The city isn't big enough. So big is adjective, and after adjective I used enough. Okay, and next one, the buses don't run frequently enough. So frequently, on the other hand, is an adverb. Is an adverb here. You can say the buses don't run frequently enough. So after adjective and adverb, we can use enough. Okay, and if we have nouns, we must use enough before nouns. After adjectives and adverbs, before nouns. Okay. And also you can see the examples here. You use enough before a noun. For example, enough eggs. And after an adjective, it isn't big enough, or an adverb, you aren't walking fast enough. So it means you are slow. And the last part of today's grammar is about zero quantity. Zero quantity like nothing. There is not any room in the car. There isn't any room in the car. As you see, we use any plus noun for zero quantity with a negative verb. Okay? Like as you see, we have a negative verb here. There isn't any room in the car. Okay? Or we don't have any eggs. We don't have any eggs. As you see, we use any in what kind of sentence? In negative sentences. Great. And rule number 2. There is no room in the car, or we have no eggs. So we use no plus noun, room or eggs, with a positive sentence and having negative meaning. There is no room in the car. There's no space in the car. We have no eggs. Okay, we have no eggs. So as you see, you can ask me what's the difference between any and no. We use any with negative sentences. Like we must have not here. Isn't, don't. But with no, we shouldn't use not here. There is no room in the car. We have no eggs. That's it. And the last rule, rule number 3. How many eggs do we have? None. How many eggs do we have? None. So we use none without noun, like in short answers. None. That's it. That's all. Finished. I've used them all. So, like in order to answer shortly to someone's question, we can use none. Okay? Alright, we have already talked large quantities. We have already talked about large quantities, small quantities. We have talked about too big, too much, too many, enough, and zero quantity. So it's time to do this exercise like part A in order to practice. So from 1 to 10, we have to choose correct answer. We have to circle the correct answer here. And we will tick if both are possible. It means both answers like here are possible. Like in some sentences we have like 2 answers and both of them are correct. Okay, let's start with number 1. So guys, I'm waiting for your answers for number one. Pay attention to number one. I just have to reply to a few or a little emails and then I have finished. So, in your opinion, which answer is correct? Can you tell me? For number one, a few or a little. And you should write why it is correct. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers, guys. Okay. Yes. So I'm waiting for your answers. And you should tell me why. Why is a little? Why the answer is a few? Okay. Mr. Enes says a few. Melis says a few. Nur and Enes. Okay, few because of countable nouns. Yes, that's the correct answer. Few is a correct answer. That's it. Okay. And number two. Yes, a few. Why? Because emails is a countable noun. Yeah, because it is countable. Great. Thank you. Thanks so much for your answers. And let's continue with number two. Do you spend much or many time on social networking sites? Okay, guys, let's choose this one. Number two. I am waiting for your answers for number two. Okay, number two. Much uncountable. Time is uncountable, they say. Okay, we will see. All right. Which one is correct? We will see. This one. Okay. So let me check your answers on your comments. We can use much. They say much because it's uncountable. Enes, Uğur, and Irina answered. Yes, all of you are correct. Much time on social networking sites. That's correct, guys. Thank you. Thanks so much for your answers. And let's continue with number three. My bedroom is a nice size. There's enough room or plenty of room for a desk. For number three, which one is correct? For number three. Let me drink my water. So, number three. Which one? Let me check your comments. Enough room or plenty of room? Okay, let me wait for your answers. Enough room or plenty of room? So as you see, we used enough before room, like before noun, and also we can use plenty of with room. So the correct answer, I guess there is enough room, or says. Okay, and yeah, yep. The answer is actually NS says enough. Both of them are correct. Both of them are correct. Why? Because we can use plenty of with countable and uncountable nouns, no problem. So enough room and plenty of room, both of them are correct. Number three, both of them, not just only enough, but also plenty of is correct answer. Okay, so enough room and plenty of room, both of them are correct. Number four, I know very few or very little people who speak two foreign languages. I know very few and very little people who speak two foreign languages. So, in this sentence, which one is correct? People. Countable or uncountable? Let's guess. Let's try to find the correct answer. Which one is correct? Very few or very little? Which one? Irina says very few. Okay, Irina, let's wait for other comments, other answers. I know very few people or very little people. Very few. Yes, Melis Ishuk and Irina Kas, thank you for your answers. Very few is the correct answer. Or says very little. We cannot use very little because people is like plural noun. People, a group of people. So countable noun. Okay, this is a plural noun. That's why we can use very few, not very little. So number 5. My brother has downloaded lots of apps onto his new phone. Number 5. Which one is correct? My brother has downloaded lots of apps onto his new phone. Which one is correct? A lot of or lots of? Melis says a lot of. We will see. NS says both of. Okay. For number 5. If you want, I can make it bigger for you. Sorry. Here you can see number 5 closely. Okay. My brother has downloaded lots of apps onto his new phone. Number 5, which one is correct? A lot of or lots of? Let me tell you the correct answer. Number 5, both of them. Both of them we can use. A lot of and lots of, both of them are correct. Yes. Number 6, I have some cash on me, but not a lot or a lot of. I have some cash on me, but not a lot or a lot of. Which one? Number 6. I have some cash on me, but not a lot or a lot of. This is a tricky question. Be careful with this sentence, please. NS Melis says a lot. NS says a lot of. Ur says a lot. Irina says a lot. Okay, the correct answer is a lot because we use a lot at the end of the sentence. Okay, a lot is a correct answer, not a lot of. So after a lot of, we must use noun. So a lot of is wrong answer. The correct answer is a lot. Yes, great, thank you. Who was correct? Melis, Uğur, and Irina. So let's continue with number 7. Their new TV is too much big. It hardly fits in the living room. So too much big or too big? Which one sounds correct? Like guess the answer and let me know. Their new TV is too big or too much big? Guys, which one is correct? Their new TV is too big or too much big? Yes, too big. So after too, we must use an adjective like too big. If we have too much, after too much we must use noun. So the correct answer is too. Yes. Too big. It hardly fits in the living room. Okay. The too big. This one. Okay, let's continue with number 8. There aren't any, or there are no potatoes. I forgot to buy some. Number 8. What do you think? Which one is correct? Mr. Hussein, thank you. Your answer was correct. I think all of them. Serena, Melis, Uğur, Enes, and Hussein. Hussein says any. Why? Any and no. Okay, let me check your answers for this question. Okay. And by the way, you can watch our online lesson on the Facebook channel, Facebook, and YouTube channel and Instagram. Like, we have lots of opportunities for the students of Justenglish. So for number 8, there aren't any or there are no potatoes. Okay, and the comments, they say any, aren't any, no, any potatoes, uncountable. Okay, let me tell you the correct answer for number 8. For number 8, actually both of them are correct. As you see, we can use any with not. Okay, there are not any potatoes. And we can use no with positive sentences, but with a negative meaning. Both of them are correct. So both of them are correct. There aren't any or there are no potatoes. I forgot to buy some. Both of them are correct. Okay. Who wrote the correct answer on the comment here? Both of them. Nobody says both of them. Both of them is correct. Okay. So number 9. My niece isn't old enough or enough old to play with the games console. Which one do you think? Number 9. My niece isn't old enough or enough old. I don't want. Okay, I wanted to tell you something, but I changed my decision. Sain says old enough. Melis says old enough. Yes. And it could be better for me write the reason why. Because enough and old, you can see old is an adjective here. That's why we use enough after adjectives, right? Yes, here we cannot use enough old. This is wrong. Old enough. The old enough is a correct answer. So the last one, number 10. I don't have a lot of or many friends on Facebook. I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook or many friends on Facebook. Which one is correct? A lot of or many? A lot of friends or many friends? Melis Işık says many. Jasmine Alekbarovic says hi teacher. Hi Jasmine. Uğur says I think a lot of. Okay, Mr. Uğur, let's wait for other comments, other answers, and then let's continue and I will tell you the correct one, which one is correct. Hüseyin says both of. Yes, actually, both of is the correct answer. Why? Because we can use many in negative sentences, and I also told you that we can use a lot of in negative sentences as well. So no problem. Both of them are correct. A lot of friends and many friends. Both of them are correct. Okay, a lot of friends and many friends. Irina says many, probably both, and then she wrote both. Both of them. Both of them are correct. Okay, and let's continue with part B. In part B, we should take the correct sentences, correct the mistakes in the highlighted phrases. Like, look at here. We should tick if the sentence is correct. If there's a mistake, you should tell me where is the mistake, why the sentence is not correct, is incorrect. Okay, how many presents, like number 1, how many presents did you get? A lot of. So, the number 1 is correct or incorrect? True or false? The number 1. Okay. How many presents did you get? A lot of? Is that correct? Mustafa Zihat Aktaş says it is true. Uğur says it is correct. Okay. And let's see. Let's wait for the other answers. Irina says it is true. Okay. But be careful, guys. Be careful with the correct answer. Alright. For number 1, your answers, unfortunately, it is false. Yes, Elif Yaren Küçük says it is false. Yes, it is false. Why? Because we use a lot at the end of the sentence and in the short answers if we use. But a lot of, after a lot of, guys, we must use noun. Okay, a lot of blah blah blah. A lot of, for example, books, a lot of papers, a lot of students, a lot of prisons. So after a lot of, we must use noun. But here the correct answer is a lot, not a lot of. Okay. So number 1 is a lot. Number 2, I buy very few paper books now because I have an e-reader. So is it correct or not? Let's check number 2. Is it correct answer or not? Number 2. I buy very few paper books now because I have an e-reader. A lot of napkins. Yes, Mustafa Cihat, it's correct. But what about number 2? Your answers for number 2. Which one is correct? Very few paper books. Is that correct or not? Okay. Number 2. I'm waiting for your answers. Irina says it is true. Okay. What about others? Mustafa says it's correct. Okay. And just 2 answers? Okay. So let me tell you the correct answer. This sentence is correct. Why? Because we use very few with countable nouns. That's why we should use tick. Number 2 is correct. Yes. Number 3. Number 3. I don't use no social networks because I don't like them. I don't use no social networks because I don't like them. Number 3 is correct or not? Hussein says false. Number 2 was correct, Mr. Hussein. Can we say a few? Yes, we can use a few, but the meaning is different. We use few with countable, a little is we use with uncountable noun. Yes, Mustafa, Zihat Aktaş, thank you. Thanks so much for your answers. They are correct. What about number 3? I don't use no social networks. Is that correct or false? Irina says false. Why? The question is why. Can you tell me why it is false? Elif, Yaren Küçük, thank you. Okay. All right, number 3. Number 3, false. Melis says, yes, it is false. Why? Because if we have a negative, if we have don't, yes, Mr. Mustafa, because if we have not, we should use any, not no, okay? We don't use any social networks. Any social networks, okay? All right, so not any. That's why this sentence is false. This sentence is not correct. So we must add like not. Okay. Number 4. Please turn that music down. It's too much loud. So number 4, please turn that music down. It is too much loud. Is that correct or not? Okay. Let's check your answers for number 4. Which one is correct? Too much loud. Please turn that music down. Too much loud. Is that correct or not? I am waiting for your answers, guys. Be active as much as you can. And also you can inform your friends to watch us on our YouTube channel, on the Instagram, Justenglish TR. You can get the information about the weekly program. Mr. Hussein says true. Elif says sentence 4 is true. Mary says correct, false. Irina says it is too loud or it is too much. Aktaş says it's true. The correct answer, whose answer is correct? Irina. Irina's answer is correct. Why? Because after too much, like here, as you say, after too much we should use noun, but here we have unfortunately adjectives. So the answer is too much. It is too it is too loud. Okay, just too loud, not too much loud. Too loud is the correct answer. Who said Melis? Melis says it is correct. No, Melis. Irina. Irina says it is false. It is too loud or it is too much. Yes, the correct answer is too loud. Great, because loud is an adjective and we shouldn't use too much. Okay, before adjective. Number 5. Number 5. There aren't many good programs on TV tonight. So which one? Is there any mistake in sentence 5? There aren't many good programs on TV tonight. Okay, let's check the answers. Mr. Mustafa says it is true. We will see. There aren't many good programs on TV tonight. Okay. And which one do you think is correct? Is that correct or incorrect? I'm waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, and after number 5, like we will have short break time, and like maximum 10 or 15 minutes break time. We will continue with the second part. But I'm waiting for your answers for number 5. Melis says it is false. I think false. Elif says, Hussein says false. Any good programs? Jasmine says true. The correct answer, let me tell you, the answer is correct. Yes, it's countable noun programs. Okay, we use many, and we can use many in negative sentences. It's correct. There are not many good programs. Okay, good programs on TV tonight. The answer is correct here. Like, there are not many good programs on TV tonight. So if we use any is also correct, but if we use any, it means we don't have any, 0. But there are not many good programs. It means we have, but we don't have many. Okay, like we have, for example, 4, but actually we should have 10 or 15. Okay, so this answer is, like, this sentence is correct. Alright guys, let's have a break time. After the break time, we will continue with our the second part. Mr. Enes, is it pre-intermediate book? No, it's not. It's the intermediate book at the moment I'm using. Okay, let's have a break time. After the break time, we will meet again. Thank you so much for your answers, and let's continue in the second part. See you.